When you're drowning in a to do list and your brain's in overdrive, that's exactly when procrastination sneaks in. It's like you're stuck in a never ending loop of thinking about what you have to do it and how you need to do it, but you never actually get started. You take a nap instead. You hope that by thinking it through, things will just magically become easier, but the truth is that it just makes you more overwhelmed. To beat this, you've got to break it down, take small steps, and stop the constant overthinking. And this paralysis is due to fear. So, by releasing and understanding this fear, you are going to be able to soothe yourself and gain up the courage and motivation that you need to start living a better life. In a world that never stops, burnout is all too familiar. But you have the power to reclaim your life. Introducing Healing from Burnout, your guide to renewed energy and well being, the ebook that lights the path to your refreshed, empowered self. Inside this transformative guide, discover the wisdom to manage stress and regain your vitality. Learn powerful mindfulness techniques that bring tranquility to your busy days. Unlock the secrets to rekindling your work life balance and reclaiming your passions. Written by a certified holistic coach, this ebook is not just a book, it's your personal companion in the journey to healing. Regina says she felt safe and gained clarity to find more ease for the week ahead. Rita effortlessly realized what direction her heart was pulling her in. Join the countless others who have transformed their lives with my work and healing from burnout. Experience the joy of living fully every day. Ready to embark on your journey to a vibrant, balanced self? Click the link now to get your copy of Healing from Burnout. Rediscover your vitality, reignite your passion, and embrace a life filled with purpose. Healing from Burnout, your key to a brighter tomorrow. Don't wait. Start your journey today. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Mindful Introvert podcast. This podcast helps you to get inspiration to manifest a life in alignment with your true, confident, and intuitive being. I'm Joe from mindfulintrovert.com, an inner peace and abundance coach, and my purpose here is really to help you slow down, look inwards, and create a more peaceful life by learning to trust your intuition and exploring your spirituality at a soul level. Ready to be empowered? Let's get on with the episode. Hello, welcome back. So good to have you here. So, today I'm going to talk about overthinking, overwhelm, and procrastination, how they are all connected, and the fear that goes behind all of this. So, I want to talk a little bit about my own experience. So, I'm going to treat this as my own therapy session, as I usually did with my podcast episodes anyway, because when I started this podcast, it was basically my way to share my thoughts, and I process my thoughts very well when I'm speaking them out loud. And sometimes, even though this podcast sometimes makes no sense whatsoever and I go on these massive tangents, it just it's a way to process energy and process thoughts that sometimes are stuck. And that's exactly what we are talking about on today's episode. Today's topic is exactly overthinking, overwhelm, and that anxiety that freezes you and allows you to keep procrastinating or not take charge of your life and not really do the things that you want to be doing and be the person that you want to be. It's not that you want to be that person, it's just that you forgot that you're allowed to be that person. So today I thought of telling you a little bit of my experience. Even before I hit play, well, actually, after I hit play, because I started this episode many, many times. I have to go back and delete a lot of audios. But I just today I was overthinking this and I wasn't feeling inspired. And I thought, oh my God, when this topic, I'm going to be talking about this today. What am I going to do? Started to research a bunch of things and started to define an outline for what I want to be talking about. And it was just getting a little bit too much. And then I saw the irony in all of this, because here I am going to be talking about overthinking and overwhelm. And here I am stressed about what I'm going to be talking about. This is just so inception. So I was overthinking about how I would start the episode, what I would say, how I would say it best. And is that idea of perfectionism. All of this is extremely connected. Perfectionism, procrastination, fear, it's all so connected that it's just amazes me sometimes. I'm getting much faster at understanding the correlation and picking, like, understanding what is happening with myself as it's happening. It's taking me less and less time to have that awareness, but it's always a process. And today I was feeling this overwhelm, and tried to record a bunch of times, and I said, it's not working out. So what am I going to do? Tune into the portal of my heart, because that is what's needed. I don't need no outlines. I don't need no anything to make my podcast perfect, because to my eyes, it is perfect in the essence that it is what it is. So we're not here to impress anyone. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to be who we are and share the best knowledge that we can, share with emotion, share with authenticity, share with the heart. So that's why I decided I need to tune into my intuition. So I pulled some cards from my oracle card deck, and it's very interesting because these are exactly the cards and exactly the message that I wanted to share with you, but I needed to hear this for myself. So that's probably why I was compelled to take the cards. I never did this before doing recording a podcast episode, and for some reason today I just felt compelled to do it. And one of the cards, it's one that says yes, just say yes. So I think is really just this message to myself. This is me. Welcome to this episode of me assessing my own cards, my own oracle cards. But bear with me, because they have a message for you as well. Because if you're here, especially if you just heard me for the last 5 minutes blabbing, this message is definitely for you. So first card is saying yes, just say yes. And I feel like this saying yes is saying yes to who I am, saying yes to precisely what is happening right now, precisely of this crazy blabbiness that is happening in my brain, because that's how an overthinker thinks. That's how a brain that is on just running very fast and with a lot of thoughts thinks. And what I find is that sometimes my thought process, that's why it's important for me to speak them out loud, because my thought process in my brain, it doesn't matter if I'm thinking in English or Portuguese or whatever language I'm thinking. Sometimes I mix them both, which is makes it even more confusing in my brain. But when I'm thinking just in my mind, I don't make sentences, in the sense that I don't have the beginning, middle, and end of the sentence. So it doesn't make sense linguistically, but because it's just one thought after the other, and then it's a feeling, and it's a word, an adjective, and a verb, and an action, and all of these situations are happening in my brain at the same time, and it jumps from one thought to the other, to the other, to the other. And when I have to speak out loud or write, that's why journaling is a great tip. I'm spoiling this episode for you, giving already the tip at the beginning. Is it's very important because it creates a syntax. I don't even know if that's the word in English, but it creates a structure for your language that is able to slow your thoughts, is able to slow that emotion and that energy, that vibration, that frequency that goes in your brain. And you are able to translate that into a more calm and structured way of thinking. I'm not sure if this is making sense, but it's making sense in my mind. Meaning that you're able to slow down a little bit and process your thoughts and your emotions a little bit differently when you are speaking, even if you're speaking very fast, like I'm speaking right now, or if you are journaling, because you are processing, you're creating a syntax, you're creating a structure, you are um, almost materializing. I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but you're almost like, yeah, materializing your thought. So, all of this to say that it's very helpful to slow your mind this way. Make your mind create a structure, organize your thoughts. And this might seem a little bit silly, but by doing that organization, you are able to relax a little bit. And I do this when I'm struggling to fall asleep. I do many things when I struggle to fall asleep. If you want to know ways to cope with anxiety when going to sleep, let me know. I'll create an episode on that. But one thing that I do when I find that my brain is just working very, very much so at the end of the day when I'm trying to go to sleep, what I do is that I realize precisely the way that I'm thinking. So one thought after the other, after the other, after the other, that it's not a complete sentence. So it's not one complete thought. I make myself think that thought true, like to the end, you know? I don't allow myself, my brain, to continue the worry and continue the scenario by jumping scenes. And today I was watching Sly's a documentary on Netflix, and I think it was there. I'm not sure. I think it was. He gave me yeah, it was definitely. He gave me a visual that to me was very impactful, was a metaphor for something that I do when I'm meditating and I do when I'm going to bed as well sometimes. And it's something that was it was a light bulb moment for me, because he said it in a way that I couldn't describe it better myself. So he was saying that, oh, you know how you see your life go by as when you are sitting in the train and you look out the window and you see everything flashing very, very fast. And that's how I try to meditate as well. Because to me, as someone that goes a little bit of overdrive with my brain, that is always thinking, sometimes it's difficult to sit down and do a formal form of meditation. So what I do is I imagine that I'm looking at a movie, and that movie is going very fast in front of me, in front of my eyes. So I'm a very visual person. So for you, if you're not that visual, this metaphor might not result as greatly. You might have to try something else. But the way I do it is I close my eyes, breathe, focus on my breath, relax for a bit. And then if I have many thoughts going through my mind, I just imagine them going very fast. So that I cannot really focus on any of them. So they're just, I'm acknowledging that I have a lot of thoughts, that I'm getting distracted, whatever. But my focus, my mindfulness attention is to the fact that I see a thought and I let it go. I see a thought and I let it go. So that is still being mindful while meditating. So yeah, I don't even know where I was going with this, but that was that. So I think it's saying yes to who I am, the way I think, the way my brain just goes AWire sometimes, and I go all over the place. And yeah. So I gave you two different ways of looking at this. So one way is looking at the thoughts going by so fast that you're not able to focus on any given one, or focus one at a time, meaning that you slow the thought down and you take that scenario through and through. Like you go from beginning, you give it a middle, and you give it an end. And this is actually a cognitive behavioral technique called worry time, cognitive behavioral therapy technique called worry time, that I have in my ebook. So go get my ebook. I have a full guided practice there. I have journaling prompts that help you go through all of this and release and slow down that overthinking process a little bit, and gives you a different perspective, enable you to reframe your thoughts and challenge your thoughts a little bit. So yes, and then the second card was Warrior Woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? And I think this is exactly what is important for everyone to do, is to understand what your deepest calling is, understand what your intuition is telling you. Because I can tell you that when I sat down to record this episode, ooh, my nose. When I sat down to record this episode, I had no idea what I was going to talk. And now here I am just blabbing, blabbing, blabbing. And I know that I'm channeling, right? I'm just speaking from God knows where. I have this energy. It's almost like 11 at night, and I have energy from God knows where. So I'm just channeling. Maybe it's because I had a little bit of sugar. So I'm just pumped. Maybe it's that. But we all have to trust our intuition, to tap into our intuition, and recognize what our higher self is really pulling us towards, because we all have a inner deepest calling that we sometimes avoid or shut it down or say, oh, that's not for us. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, that takes too much effort. Oh, that takes too much time. Whatever it is that we sometimes avoid, it is important to have that courage and have that mind body spirit integration. And this is where holistic coaching comes very handy, because, and by the way, I'm now a certified holistic coach working towards my ICF accreditation with precisely ICF. So if you want to know more about what this whole integration of mind, body, and spirit is, I have, you can book my one to one session. It's completely free. So you can learn more about how holistic coaching can be for you. But is having that integration between your energies, both feminine and masculine, and understanding that you can have that courage to go and pursue this deepest calling with, not without fear, never, because there's always a possibility for us to be afraid, but despite the fear, and that it is possible for you to start taking action to the things that lights you up, um, even though you are afraid, even though there might be people that might judge you, there might be people that might reject you, but you know what, those people are the ones that you do not need or want around you, because those are precisely the ones that you need to drop. And maybe that's exactly a sign of the universe that you need to live your truth, pursue your path, and those people will drop, and you will find better people, and you'll just make space for people that are more aligned with you. So this warrior woman is important to recognize. Where is your warrior woman? How can you nurture her, and how can you really bring her to the front line, because that's exactly where she needs to be. And if you identify as a man, worry not, because this is maybe calling you to tap into your feminine energy of the warrior, where you surrender more, where you decide where you want to be going. But instead of having such an assertive and strong masculine approach, you go at it with cooperating with the universe, cooperating with forces that you're not aware, and surrendering, taking inspired action, and really tapping into your intuition and emotions. So then we have the priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? And I think this was very important for me to hear, because um, that's what led me to create this podcast episode the way that I am creating, because I am being called to lead by example of showing how I can be vulnerable, and I can learn along the way, and I can take you with me in this learning, and I can be intuitive, and I trust my intuition, I can trust it, and I can learn others to trust and tap into it. So that's exactly how I am going to be able to step up and lead, because I cannot go about the same path as everyone else. Yes, I can take an inspiration, but I need to carve my own path. I need to follow my own intuition, my own higher self, and do things the way that I feel are right, not the way that I think they should be done. Uh, so that's that integration again of the conscious mind, the ego, and the unconscious mind, your higher self, where you acknowledge that you are overthinking and you recognize that that overthinking is your ego protecting you. We've covered this many times, where this overthinking, this overwhelm is just a fear of not being prepared. It's a fear of rejection, a fear of failure, sometimes a fear of success. And that's what's I feel like has been happening for me a little bit, because for some reason that I'm still discovering, I'm doing a lot of mindset work at this moment, is that sometimes I feel like if I am successful, I will be less relatable. People will People that are within my circle will be less related to me, so there's less connection and I will lose friendships. But I'm pretty sure I won't, People that truly matter for me are still in my circle, are still supporting. Even if they do judge me, at least they judge me in silence. So I don't think that will happen. I think people are proud of me. They will continue to be proud of me. And those that are, in fact, judging me, uh, what can I do? I cannot control what they think or what they do. So, whatever. Um, so, all of this to say that you will overthink, you will be afraid. You will fail sometimes and make mistakes and do things that maybe don't work as well. So I'm still figuring out a lot of things in my business. So I'm fully invested in my business. I'm living off my savings for a little bit until I have the business going strong. And this was a major leap of faith. It was a situation of trying to get away from misalignment that I was in my previous job and my previous life, and going more towards the alignment. So what lights me up, and what is that deepest calling of helping people, of connecting to people. Just today I was talking to like people all over the world, mostly in the States. So it's, to me, it's amazing that I can have conversations. I had like 4 meetings today where I was talking to people all over the States. And that's, to me is just amazing. How can I, from my office in England, be connecting to people all over the world, talking about topics that we all love? And maybe they are topics that are a little bit woo woo, because they're not real, in the sense that they're not um, physical, in the sense that it's not like a notebook, it's not a pen that we can say, oh, here is a pen. You can see the color, you can get the weight. You know what I mean? We're talking about spirituality, we're talking about energy, we're talking about higher self, ego, and overwhelming, and procrastination and fear. All of these things are concepts, and these concepts sometimes they're difficult to get your mind around, right? So it's important to give ourselves some grace and recognize our successes, recognize that we're doing the best with what we've got, always reframing the overthinking with the idea of being creative. That's always what I try to do, because you are immensely creative. You couldn't come up with those scenarios if you didn't have immense creativity. And then it's tapping into your intuition and allowing things to be how they are. Today, I said, I am struggling to record this episode. What am I going to say? Do I even want to do this right now? Should I just go to bed and try to record another time? But I said, okay, what can I do? What experience do I have that can be important to people listening? And I thought of sharing where I'm at this moment in life. I am afraid. I am afraid. I'm telling you, I am afraid that I have to get back to my day job at the hospital, I am afraid that I will lose connections with my friends and my family. I am afraid that my boyfriend will get tired of me or I will get tired of him. I am afraid of a lot of things. But most of those things, if not all of them, I cannot really control. So understanding what I can control in total or not is also an important aspect to reduce overthinking and that overwhelm. And then that procrastination is really, I think it helps understanding the why and seeing past the present moment a little bit. So I used to have a client that she would procrastinate on going for walks. She used to love going for walks and being with her kids and just going around the park and enjoying themselves on Fridays afternoon, right? And she stopped doing that, and she couldn't like understand really why or how to get back to it. But then she said that when she used to clean, she didn't like doing it. She sometimes felt tired and didn't feel like she wanted to do it, but she did it because she enjoyed so much. The pleasure that she got from having a clean house was so immense that the pain, quote unquote, pain of having to clean was worth it. And so this is an amazing mindset. And when I fed that back to her, saying, this is what you do. You visualize the outcome, and that visualization of the outcome and the reason why you're doing it is precisely what gives you the motivation to go ahead and do it. So if you want to go for a walk, you need to understand why you want to go for a walk and the actual outcome, the benefits that she will gain from that walk. And once she had that moment to understand, oh, I have the perfect strategy to make this work. I just gotta change this strategy to the actual situation of going for a walk. And it was an immense insight that she had, um, just for a simple thing that she had the strategy for herself. So you have your own motivation strategy. And I just gave you a general recipe. It's just like, oh, I just gave you a general recipe of chocolate cake. Obviously, you're going to need cake batter, some sort of cake batter, and chocolate, right? That's how you make a chocolate cake. But the real recipe, the quantity of ingredients, you are going to have to decide for yourself, because I don't know you. I don't, I'm not working with you. We can have a call together, but I don't know what's in your brain. But the main ingredients are really understand your outcome, understand your goal, how you want to feel, why you want to feel that way, what benefits it brings you, and then bring it closer. So imagining that outcome beforehand. The reason why I have gained a liking towards going to the gym is because I know how good it feels afterwards. I always say, I don't want to go to the gym, but I never regret going once I'm there and once I leave the gym. So I always have to think, okay, this is the benefit, this is what I'm working towards. And that really helps to reduce that overwhelm, to actually tackle something that needs to get done. And just that way, you avoid that procrastination. And sometimes you're really making the situation bigger than what it is. That's why you procrastinate as well, because you start to overthink the situation. So if you have a task in hand and that task maybe can be completed in 1 hour, but you say, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. It's going to take me the whole day. I'm going to feel so bad about it. Obviously, you're not going to want to do it. But if you just dedicate yourself and think, okay, this is 1 hour and then it's completely out of my to do list, I will feel amazing having so accomplished, having done this, and it's not going to be as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then I have my schedule clear. It's different approach to it. So you really have to understand how your brain works and find your own strategy to overcome this overthinking and procrastination. I gave you already a lot of different tips with meditating, journaling, slowing down your thoughts. Focus on your breathing always helps. And ask for help. Ask for help. Talk to a friend. Come have a session with me. Let's just integrate all of your aspects of your mind, your body, and your spirit. Have them all be in alignment so that you can fulfill your purpose. You can live your highest self and be the best version. Because I think that's all that there is to do here on earth, is to find a way that we can grow and serve humankind and serve our community and just be the best selves that we can be. So now I can breathe. I don't know where all of this came from. I hope you enjoyed. And if you're here, still here, I love you, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye. If you are fully committed to your growth, I invite you to book a free inner peace assessment call with me, where we create an action plan to manifest a life worth living with more inner peace and self-love. And for more inspiring content, follow me on Instagram at Coach Joanna Calado and subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Intuitive Being. I will leave everything in the show notes so that you do not miss a thing. I'll see you in the next episode, and until then, slow down and trust yourself. Bye.